Hello, everybody. Continuing on in Acts 7 in the New Living. So Abraham, and again, we do King James. It's the best. Still corrupted, but it's the best. But it's easier to understand in the New Living if something's not right. And we can tell when something's not right. If you've been over my studies, then you know, we can just kind of tell. And because the whole Bible is just one completed work. And if it doesn't sound right, we quickly then move over to King James. I've got both pulled up. So, but sometimes it's just better in the New Living for understanding. So Abraham, now again, if I'm not mistaken, this is from yesterday's. This was Stephen, who's about to get stoned. And he's kind of telling the whole story. He's guarantee you, I shouldn't say I guarantee you, but I would say this whole study today is Stephen telling the story. It began yesterday, and maybe it ends tomorrow, or maybe all of tomorrow's study is too. So it's a very long story, if I remember. It might be all of Acts 7 is Stephen's story. So Abraham left the land of the Chaldeans and lived in Haran until his father died. Then God brought him here to the land where you now live. But God gave him no inheritance here, not even 1 square foot of land. God did promise, however, that eventually the whole land, would belong to Abraham and his descendants, even though he had no children yet. God had also told him that his descendants would live in a foreign land, where they would be oppressed as slaves for 400 years. But I will punish the nation that enslaves them, God said. And in the end, they will come out and worship me here in this place. God also gave Abraham the covenant of circumcision at that time. So when Abraham became the father of Isaac, he circumcised him on the 8th day. And the practice was continued when Isaac became the father of Jacob, and when Jacob became the father of 12 patriarchs of the Israelite nation. These patriarchs were jealous of their brother Joseph, and they sold him to be a slave in Egypt. But God was with him and rescued him from all of his troubles. And God gave him favor before Pharaoh, king of Egypt. God also gave Joseph unusual wisdom, so that Pharaoh appointed him governor over all of Egypt, put him in charge of the palace. Kind of sounds like Daniel's story in a way. Daniel, captive in Babylon, but yet appointed over the king's business of 2 separate kings, if not 3. Yeah, I think 3. But famine came upon Egypt and Canaan. There was great misery, and our ancestors ran out of food. We'll be continuing that story tomorrow. No harm done there in the New Living. And this story here. So yeah, this is all the Antichrist here. And anyway, wise leaders will give instruction to many, but these teachers will die by fire and sword, or they will be jailed and robbed during these persecutions. Little help will arrive, and many who join them will not be sincere, and some of the wise will fall victim to persecution. In this way, they will be refined and cleansed and made pure until the time of the end, for their appointed time is to come. That's the church. So that right there is your bride. The king will do as he pleases, exalting himself and claiming to be greater than every god, even blaspheming the gods of God or the God of gods. He will succeed, but only until the time of wrath is completed. For what has been determined will surely take place. Better believe it. He will have no respect for the gods of his ancestors or for the God loved by women. For the God loved by women. Never quite heard it put that way. Usually it says he will have no love for women. Neither shall he regard the God of his fathers, nor the desire of women. So he will not regard the God of his fathers, nor the God that women desire, nor the regard of any God. Yeah, it sounds like the New Living's got it right, for he shall magnify himself above all. Because this is all talking about various gods that everybody loves. It's interesting, because most people take it as he won't desire women. See, that King James is very tricky. For he will boast he is greater than them all. Instead of these, he will worship the God of fortresses. And the God of fortresses. It's Ishtar, the goddess. Ishtar, goddess of the tower, the goddess. It's very interesting, isn't it? The goddess Cybele. That's the god of fortresses. It's the goddess. She has the fortress on her head. Which all gets back into cybernetics, which is man and machine. And of course, Donnie Darko, the movie, showed us the God machine. Is what saved the rabbit. And then she said, the rabbits are us, Donnie. So it's all about the technology, which is where the image that speaks will be. Look at that. Cybele, the Persian goddess of fertility. Unbelievable. Anywho, that is Lucifer in the technology, basically. A God his ancestors never knew, and lavish on him gold, silver, precious stones, and expensive gifts. Claiming this foreign god's help, he will attack the strongest fortresses. He will honor those who submit to him, appointing them to a position of authority and dividing the land among them as their reward. Very interesting. Very interesting stuff. All right. Love you very much. Ask questions anytime. That's what I'm here for.